Ever since the Cold War, Russia has always tried to show its dominance in space exploration. From the Soviet Union's Luna 2 mission, which was the first spacecraft to reach the Moon's surface in 1959, to Yuri Gagarin from the Soviet Union, who was the first human in space in 1961. And now Russia is forming a strategic alliance with China, in order to achieve that space dominance. Both these superpowers are about to build something really powerful on the surface of the Moon. And the US is keeping a close eye on this, as it might be a threat to national security. So what exactly have these two world superpowers joined forces to build that is scaring the US? The last time Russia was on the Moon was in 1976, when the robotic probe Luna 24 landed on the Moon. But back in August 2023, Roscosmos tried to return to the Moon after almost 47 years. Sadly, the Luna 25 spacecraft spun out of control and crashed, and thus ended up as a failed lunar lander mission. It was planned to land near the lunar South Pole, in the vicinity of the crater Boguslavsky. But this hasn't dampened Russia's spirits of not just landing on the Moon, but also sending astronauts there pretty soon. Moscow has said it will launch further lunar missions, and then explore the possibility of a joint Russian-China crewed mission, and even a lunar base. Russia's Roscosmos and the China National Space Administration have been cooperating on building a research station on the Moon, after signing an agreement in 2021. China aims to put its first astronaut on the Moon before 2030. On the other hand, Russia plans to send cosmonauts to land on the Moon next decade, for the first time in its history, and intends to build a Moon base from 2031. Russia also intends to exploit the Moon's resources by mining. But something that has shocked the entire world is the alliance between Russia and China with regards to setting up something extremely powerful on the surface of the Moon. Yuri Borisov, the head of Russia's space agency Roscosmos, said that Russia and China are considering putting a nuclear power plant on the Moon between 2033 to 35. This is well after the respective time frames both the countries have set to send astronauts on the Moon's surface. Russia and China had been jointly working on a lunar program, and Moscow is contributing heavily with its expertise on nuclear space energy. Borisov said that they intend to deliver and install a power unit on the lunar surface together with China. The reason for setting up a nuclear power plant is because solar panels would not be able to provide enough electricity to power future lunar settlements. He also added that the project would likely need to be done without the presence of humans. Borisov also spoke of Russian plans to build a nuclear-powered cargo spaceship. He said all the technical questions concerning the project had been solved, apart from finding a solution on how to cool the nuclear reactor. So will Russia and China eventually be successful in setting up a nuclear power plant on the Moon? Also, will this lead to the US forming a strategic alliance with either India or Japan, who have successfully landed rovers on the Moon, in order to set up similar nuclear power plants? We will only have to wait and watch. And talking about China, the Red Dragon just created something colossal in order to achieve space dominance. China, just like the US and Russia, wants to be number one in all fields. Be it trade, technology, military, and now even space. Back in December 2023, China unveiled plans to send the Marsbird 7 quadcopter on its Mars sample return mission. It is expected to launch between 2028 and 2030, and represents a significant leap forward in extraterrestrial robotics. The quadcopter features a foldable structure, optimized for conserving space during transit to Mars. Upon reaching the Red Planet, it can autonomously deploy and collect up to 0.22 pounds of Martian samples, a capability that could significantly enhance the efficiency and flexibility of sample collection. And if this advancement in space technology was not enough, China has now done the unthinkable. The Red Dragon just created the world's largest space environment simulator in northeast China. The ground-based space environment research platform has completed testing and is officially operating in China to support the country's growing space ambitions. It's called SESRI, which stands for the Space Environment Simulation and Research Infrastructure. It is based in the northeastern city of Harbin. Just last week, it passed its national acceptance review after a trial operation that began last year in July. The multi-component facility is built in an area equivalent to 50 football fields. Specific space conditions can be reproduced at the SESRI to test equipment and the effects on human health as an alternative to testing in near-Earth orbit. The facility's main mission is to support the safe operation of Chinese spacecraft and long-term human presence in space. More than 110 universities and institutes from over 30 countries have signed agreements to use the platform in the future. China wants to become a formidable space power by 2045, and for that, it has become very important to study complex space environments. This not only helps in testing spacecraft reliability, but also safeguarding the safety and health of astronauts. The facility, approved by the Chinese government in 2015, is the aerospace sector's first major research infrastructure. This is a cost-effective way to carry out experiments and test equipment without the expense of sending them into orbit. There are 4 laboratories that host simulation chambers that can recreate environments from microgravity to solar radiation. The 4 laboratories include a comprehensive space environment lab, one for space plasma science, another to study the magnetic environment, and an animal breeding room. Each lab hosts a number of simulators that recreate different sets of conditions, including microgravity, solar radiation, space dust, and extremely low temperatures. Will this facility help China test space equipment faster in order to launch spacecrafts and send astronauts safely into space and maybe someday even on Mars? Will SESRI help China in its conquest for space superiority and eventually planetary colonization before Elon Musk's SpaceX and USA? If you found this video intriguing, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to Edge of the Universe. Hit the bell icon to stay updated as we unravel many more mysteries.